Hello there, students. Thank you for being part of this presentation today. Today we're looking at United States government, U.S. government, and we are doing Unit 3, Civil Rights, Citizenship, and Civic Participation, and we're focusing specifically on political parties, elections, and elected officials tutorial. Let me remind you to please make sure you have a notebook in which you're taking notes. Please make sure you're following through with your notes, as that will help you to answer all of the questions that you will encounter in this tutorial. And the objective for this lesson is that you will examine how elections and the party system play a role in U.S. political process. Now let's move on. We are now on page 13 of the political parties, elections, and elected officials tutorial, and this is fairly simple. You're being asked one question here. Let's go over it. And it says, in your own words, why did George Washington oppose political parties? Please make sure that you provide a solid paragraph here explaining the reasons that George Washington had in order to tell the nation that he was against political parties. You can also include ideas as to why political parties eventually evolved and how that has impacted our nation. Let's move on. This is our first lesson activity, and this is page 15 of Political Parties, Elections, and Elected Officials tutorial. And let's go over some of the directions so you'll know exactly what to do here and you can get the best grade possible from your teacher. Read the instructions for the self-check activity. Type in your response to each question and check your answers. At the end of the activity, write a brief evaluation of your work. This is what it's saying here for the activity. Because two parties dominate the U.S. political system, third parties are often forgotten and sidelined. But third parties often play important roles in the U.S. political system. In this activity, you will read about and analyze the role of these third parties. Read this article about third parties and then write a short answer for each question below. Please make sure, here's a link right here where I'm pointing out right now. You need to click on this link, you need to read the information that you're given there, and you need to take notes. Once you have that done, it will be fairly easy for you to answer these questions. Let's go to part A. According to the article, which candidate ran one of the most successful third-party independent campaigns in U.S. history? Explain a little bit about the campaign. Please make sure you read the article and you explain why this particular political system first does not allow or give room to third parties, and why in this case, based on the article, this particular candidate was very successful as a third party candidate. Make sure you provide a good solid paragraph. And when I say a good solid paragraph, I mean at least 5 strong sentences, not just one sentence or 2 sentences. Please make sure you show your teacher that you understand the content. Part B. According to the article, please click on this link over here. What is one great obstacle preventing third parties from gaining equal footing with the Democrats and Republicans? Very important again. You read this article, you take notes, and you answer the question. In this case, you need to talk about the importance of, in this case, the political system currently with the Democrats and the Republicans, and how that political system has prevented third parties from gaining power, has prevented third parties from being a dominant force. So you need to explain that. Again, we're looking for a good solid paragraph. Part C. Why does the article refer to the third parties as gadflies? And why is this something positive? Please make sure that you read the article again, use your notes, and answer question C. Part D. In what ways does the article describe the two-party system as a positive system when compared with a multiple-party system? Again, you have to use your notes. We are looking for a solid paragraph here in order for you to demonstrate your comprehension of the content. Part E. Do you think there should be more than 2 parties in the United States political system? Or does the U.S. system work well? Write one paragraph in response to this question. Use your own words and support your argument with information from the article. Please make sure that you provide evidence. We are we know your opinion, but we need to know how that opinion is translated with evidence, and provide a solid paragraph here, please. Now let's move on. We are now on page 30, Political Parties, Elections, and Elected Officials tutorial, and this is another lesson activity, and it's about elected officials. Let's read what you're being asked to do here. Directions. Read the instruction for this self-check activity, type in your response to each question, and check your answers. At the end of the activity, write a brief evaluation of your work. Please make sure you read this part where it says activity. You need to read this part in order to answer the question that you're being asked. Let's quickly look at part A so that you will have a good idea what to do here. Look at these maps from the 2008 and 2012 presidential elections. In the space provided, note the differences and similarities between the two maps. Are certain regions more Democrats and sometimes more Republicans? What other interesting points do you recognize about the map? You need to click on this link here, 2008, and you need to click on this link, 2012, and based on that information, you need to provide a good answer here. Remember, we're looking for at least a good solid paragraph. Part B, refer to the maps again, taking into consideration what you know about the census. Because the census is conducted every 10 years, the electoral votes for the 2008 presidential election were still based on the 2000 census. In the 2012 election, however, the state's electoral voters were updated based on the 2010 census. In the space below, note some of the states that gained or lost electoral votes. How do these changes in electoral votes illustrate shift in population? Based on the information, again, that you saw on the maps right here, on the first part, part A, from 2008 and 2012, you need to answer this question. What did you see that changed in terms of population moving from one area to another area? Which state gained more people? Which state actually lost people? Make sure that you provide a good solid paragraph here. Part C is asking, based on what you see in the maps, how might shift in census and thus electoral college affect presidential races? For instance, what if more citizens from the Northeast moved to states in South, such as in Texas? Well, here you're providing your opinion. Make sure that you do not answer with one or two sentences. Hey, let your teacher know that you understand this content, and guess what? Write a full paragraph here. Now let's move on. We are now on page 36 of Political Parties, Elections, and Elected Officials tutorial, and this is what you're being asked to do. In your own words, describe the biggest motivation of a media source that is privately owned and how it might affect the source coverage of political issues. Here you need to be truthfully or answering truthfully in a way that shows your teacher that you understand how the media works. You know, some media networks are more pro-Democrats, other networks are more pro-Republicans, and you need to explain why that happens, and how does it impact public opinion. Because if you watch, for example, CNN, or if you watch Fox News, it's like you're living in two different worlds. So you need to explain what is the people's perception and how do people get influenced by how the media covers certain political events. Please make sure that you are paying close attention to all of this, and make sure that you are doing your best. I will talk to you soon.